G'day guys, Alex here from AFL Today, also Football Today, and also punters.com.au. Make sure you check out everything that we do here across the social medias. But today, I'm here to pick my big, beefy boys. It's my SuperCoach team, which, I'll be honest, I've done next to no research on. This team is pure vibes / listening to Al, Jim, Stats Guy, Leo, Marcus, and everyone around the office in the last week. So the first pick is quite obvious because it's on the screen. It is going to be Nick Dacos. I'm going from defence up to the forward line, just basically taking you all the way through. I'll keep searching here. My next one is Dan Houston from Port Adelaide. I do think with Radaglia and Zerk Thatcher coming in, it will free him up even more. He could have an even bigger year this year. My next pick, I'm going to have a few North Melbourne players in here. I think there's a lot of upside there. I'm going with the Sheezels. I think Clarko's just going to let him run off half back and just be like, dude, just find the football, please. Like, we need to get it inside our forward 50. So I don't mind picking him up. I'm also going to pick Kitty Coleman from the Brisbane Lions. Again, I think his grand final performance was awesome. Hopefully he can back that up and go forward. He was dead set best on ground up until halftime in that grand final. My next one, because I am picking this on the Wednesday before the opening round, I'm going to pick Zach Williams. Look, injury prone, a lot of history with that, so I want to see how he goes this weekend. I could very easily cut him loose out of this because they could manage his minutes and he could only play half a game, 3 quarters, and just maybe not worth it in the long run. My next one is Caulfield from the Western Bulldogs, just because, well, Leo said before the show, pick Caulfield, he's going to be a cash cow, so I'm just listening to him. As much as I hate Essendon, I'm going to pick Zach Reid because everyone in the comments of a previous video that I did said, Zach Reid's a star, he's going to be our best player in 5 years. Well, you'd hope so, because it better not be Zach Merritt. Also, Essendon, too many Zachs. Way too many of them. And my final one is Gibcus from Richmond because, well, he's going to get a game and he might find the footy, which Richmond may struggle with this year. Towards the midfielders, I'm going to start off with who I believe is one of the best players in the AFL. He's my second most valuable player in the AFL, and that is Marcus Bontempelli. Toby Green is the number one for all those playing at home, but not as far as SuperCoach is concerned. My next one, as you can see from my jacket watching on, I've got to pick this year's Brownlow medalist, that being, Errol. He's not a beefy boy, but he gets in there. Bont does the beef for us. Speaking of beefy boys, the pasty beefy boy, Tom Green. He's another one that could win a Brownlow medal as well. He will rack up the possessions like there is no tomorrow this year. Just like there's too many Zacks at Essendon, there's too many Nicks. But Nick Martin's going to get a run because, well, he looks like he has some sort of ability and does gather the football. So let's give him a run. Speaking of beefy boys, his nickname is Beef. Well, if it isn't, I've made it Beef. That is Beef Sheldrick for the Swans. Given the injuries to Parker and, Taylor Adams to start the season, I won't be surprised if they throw him straight on the ball. They've given him Josh Kennedy's number this year, so he could go straight in, and I reckon he'll get a stack of contested possessions and rack them up through the year. Next is Colby McKercher from North Melbourne. Haven't watched much of the practice games, to be honest, but from what I've seen from him, he looks to be a good footballer. He'll get plenty of the footy. Another one who will get plenty of the footy this year and is my early tip for the rising star is Riley Sanders. He just took the absolute P155 last weekend against Hawthorn. He's going to get plenty of the footy throughout the year. And one that I've heard nonstop about it is Henry Huswaite from Hawthorn because, well, Hawthorn fans don't have much to look forward to at the moment, apparently. Picking Matty Roberts for the Swans, he's another one who could be out of this team by the end of the week because I think when players such as Adams and Parker come back in, and Mills as well later in the season, he could be dropped, so the job security is a bit of an issue there. Sharp from Fremantle, he looks like he's got some sort of ability. He could get a couple of possessions and be a cash cow later in the year. And Clark from Geelong, just another one of this, just Geelong side, they just find players year after year after year, and he looks to be a baller. Ruckman, I'm a bit different from everyone. I'm going Tim English straight away. He's going to dominate. If he goes down, I think the Western Bulldogs are in a lot of trouble. Of course, you've got to pick Brodie Grundy. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He's going to come out firing this week. And the next one, Sammy Naismith. Hope he actually goes well. Had no luck with injury with Big Nank, another ex-one. Jesus. He's not playing this weekend, so we get a free hit at Naismith, and he could be up and going, and I don't mind picking him whatsoever. I think everyone's picking Luke Jackson as their number one forward at the moment, given the fact that Darcy's gone down and Jackson he's going to be the number one ruckman to start the season. I think his points against the Brisbane Lions last year were absolutely ridiculous to start his season, so that'll be good. The next one is a stupid, sexy Flanders. Got to pick him. He's going to be allowed to just run on the midfield and get plenty of the ball like he did late in the season. It's good to see Dimmer just letting him go. Next one, another Swan, James Jordan. What do you have, 31 possessions in that last preseason game. He'll get plenty of touches this weekend for Sydney, and I think he'll have that first month to have a free crack at it and really cement his spot in the Swans 22. Next, Harley Reid, hype out of control, but he looks just to be an absolute gun. He threw off one of the Adelaide players like it was no trouble. His kid's 18 years old. It's ridiculous. Speaking of sexy players, Alex Sexton from the Gold Coast. He's got a new lease on life. Who would have thought Alex Sexton's going to be picked in Supercoach? This is ridiculous. And some dude from St Kilda I've never heard of, but I've got it written down here. Darcy Wilson. Good luck, Darcy. Going towards my bench, I've got Aaron Cadman on because, well, in the first couple of weeks, GWS have a pretty decent draw. So aside from the game against Collingwood, which will be tough, I think Cadman could kick a few goals. Round 0 doesn't count. So he could kick 5 against North in week 1, and we look like geniuses. And to finish off, Caleb Windsor from the Demons. He will play against the Swans this week. We get a free look at him. Look, there's a fair bit of beef in that team. There's a fair bit of vibes. Let me know in the comments what you think. Again, Essendon, too many Nicks and too many Zacks. Just seriously figure that out.